My wife and I were celebrating our move when we were almost hit by a flying tire. Looking at the car crashed into the tree. I secretly felt grateful. If not for that tree, we would have been the ones hit. Because of last night's accident, I couldn't focus on work all day. The crash scene kept replaying in my mind. The dead driver was a 20-year-old athlete. Such a young life ended in a car accident. I felt it was such a pity. I went to the sharp curve by our door. I discovered this curve had a design problem. Roadside obstacles block drivers from judging road conditions. To prevent more accidents, I used a chainsaw to clear the roadside trees. When I finished clearing and was about to rest, another crash sound came from the door. I hurried outside and found the driver covered in blood, looking at the suffering driver. I wanted to help but didn't know how. My wife immediately called the police. Soon, the ambulance and traffic police arrived at the scene. I sat frozen on the sofa. Why couldn't I save that man? The next day I didn't go to work, but went to church for the man's funeral. Seeing the deceased daughter, my self-blame became even worse. I didn't want to be helpless anymore. I enrolled in a first aid class. My mind was full of crashes and first aid. I couldn't focus on work at all. My son developed post-traumatic stress from seeing the accident. My wife decided to sell the house, but I was hesitant. I was eventually fired by my company. I realized how much I had changed recently. I calmed down and decided to live well, seeing how my son's toys were arranged. My mindset changed again. I pushed a trash can to the roadside. I anxiously waited for an accident to happen, but a night passed. No accident occurred. I had to pull the trash can back. Not having to work gave me more time to study first aid. Suddenly, a couple came to view the house. I made an excuse to send them away. My wife came home angry. She packed up and left with our son. Weeks later, I received divorce papers from my wife. The impending family breakdown finally woke me up. I decided to move out of the house. I accidentally slipped, looking at the wet ground. A terrible idea popped into my head. I took out the hose and wet the road. I sawed off the sharp curve warning sign. I waited at home. Finally, a car flipped over at our door. I immediately came out with the first aid kit. I found rescue wasn't as simple as I imagined. My axe got stuck. When the woman was pulled out, she wasn't breathing. I started giving the woman first aid. The woman finally started breathing. The woman thanked me. At that moment, a feeling of greatness rose in my heart. This feeling made me extremely satisfied.